Okay, but what I'm saying is if you have a $20 good coming in, it's a lot easier to be like, I need to make 2.5 times the cost that this is costing me because, I bought one this time. If I sell it for double what I paid for it, I can buy 2 next time. So then I can buy 4 the time after that, 8, so on and so forth. This is how you scale and you grow slowly, right? When you don't have big capital coming in. And for instance, this works well with like clothing brands, things like that. But of course, now you can do pre-orders. It's a whole nother thing. But I think pricing becomes a lot easier that way, right? And then you've got that other 1.5 times that accounts for your operating expenses. It accounts for your profit. It accounts for your just like general, how much did you have to put into marketing to get that sale, right? Like there's all of these different factors that come into it when you look at real business budgets. And I think that's when you're a freelancer and you're like, cool, I made $500 for this gig. I made $100. I'm making $500 every weekend. I'm making a couple extra $1,000 a month. How do you get that to be stable? How do you get that to be where you didn't just have 50,000 come in and you spent 40,000 on camera gear? Like, how do you make it so like you're seeing the numbers and the profit? And of course, this is easier if you're holding down a W-2 position. Your taxes are taken out for that. You've got a stable income, and then you can focus on, right, this hobby, this business, whatever you want to call it. When you're just first starting to make that little bit of money, and maybe you are coming from a W-2 income, but you don't want to have that at all anymore. You're like, this is too much to balance my W-2 job as well as do my freelance photo video full time. And you've got to figure out what that jump is, but you're not going to do it basing it off what you're getting paid now, is what I'm saying in the grand scheme of things. If you're getting paid $50,000 a year, but after insurance, benefits, and taxes, you're bringing home 30, it's not a good idea to go, oh, well, my photography, videography, entrepreneurial hustle is making me 30, so I'm good. Because that 30 also has $5,000 of marketing that you didn't account for because you were just like, I'm building the business, I'm writing it off, whatever. It has $5,000 of extra equipment expenses because you had to upgrade that gear, or you had to get the gear rental, or you had to get the renovations done, whatever the case is. You had to buy the new furniture for the studio. So you're already down to 20,000 then, right? You're still getting taxed on that. So there's a lot that comes into play where you do have to charge more. And this isn't to say your clients need to be paying you for your lifestyle, because I think that is also very much like a misconception, is like our clients pay for our lifestyle. If we're a millionaire, it's because we're taking all these people's monies and we now have all of their money and that makes $1 million. Like, no. There's so many podcasts I listen to with these millionaires and 100 millionaires, right? Like, they have a lot of money, and before I sold my company, I was taking a $200,000 a year salary, which is a lot of money. Yes, it's a lot of money, but if you're running a multi-million-dollar company, $200,000 a year for your salary isn't the craziest thing. If you're seeing $1 million every month, $200,000 a year is that, it's not that crazy, right? Like, we have to really break it down. And I think pricing is just such a difficult thing. And when we're coming from a world of hourly pay, when we're coming from a world of this is how much your time is worth, and you have that stability, but you get it over time, right? Like, it's really hard to make that jump into being a full-time freelancer, being a full-time entrepreneur, where you might just want to be accounting for like, cool, the business did 30, I can go do 30. But I think the mindset is, okay, cool, when I was doing the business part-time, the business did 30,000. If I were to have that extra time, like I was talking about with the studio, if I were to have that extra 200, 300 hours a year, can I make another 30? Because then I'll take home 30 and I'll have 30 for everything else that's, expenses, operating expense, taxes, whatever, profits. eventually paying employees and things like that, right? So if that's the case, awesome, go for it. But I think when we go into our pricing, and this is where it's in the book Profit First, but it talks about you need to be putting away X percentage for your operating expense, you need to be putting away X percentage for your profit, X percentage for your personal, like owner's pay, compensation, and X amount for taxes. And it's all percentage based. So whatever comes into the bank account, I know that this percents to this percents to this percents to this percents to this. It's kind of like, okay, your session was $250 for the studio session. You paid me $100 and some change to the platform fees. So let's call it $120, $140 for the studio. So you are really going home with $110. It was 2 hours of your time here. Let's just say it's going to be 2 hours of your time for editing and an hour of your time for all this like communication collectively. So really we're at five hours and you're making 110. So that's a little bit over $20 an hour, but most jobs, I feel like these days, you can get a hourly wage close to $20 an hour. So you've got to kind of like double that, right? Like, okay, it's not $250 for the shoot, it's $500. And then the studio cost is like 10% of that, or the operating cost of that is about 20% with the studio rental cost. You're paying yourself quite a bit more. And then it does account for things like your operating expense. You can put money back into your marketing. You'll just have extra money within the business. And that's the only way to get your business to grow without loans, without outside capital. And so we really have to be getting good at this pricing. We really have to be good at setting our price, setting the tone, and not like bullshitting clients about my price is higher because I just need more money. It's like, this is how much time goes into it. These are the things that I'm like, if you want me to talk through my pricing with you, I will talk through my pricing with you. These are the things that are going into it. These are the reasons of why it does cost this much. Here you can give your clients options like, this is what it would be with everything we talked about, but we can scale back. We can do this over a longer period of time. Not necessarily payment installments, but scale back the deliverable, scale back the product that you're giving them to fit that budget if you can, right? Like, you don't want to necessarily lose that client because they can't afford you right now, but you also don't want to get stuck in this min-max mode where you get a client for $500, but that is their absolute maximum that they're ever going to pay you. To them, to even get to $500, it was a crazy negotiation. It was stressful. They were over the project because they have to pay more money than they planned for. And I think that's something that a lot of us can get stuck in. It's something that I've been stuck in before. It's something that I feel like is a constant work through as well. So with that, right, if that's the case, maybe they're not a good client for us, because if $500 is that maximum, and right now our goal isn't just to make a little bit of money, like our goal, right, for me, this is my mentality going into it. My goal is to make 7 figures sometime in the next 5 years annually, not collectively, but annually 7 figures. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of business. It's a lot of work. It's going to be a larger team. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. But for that, unless I have an automated service that doesn't take any of my time or energy, that min-max client at $500 maximum, I'm never going to get them to a point where they're spending 10, 15, 20,000 unless their business grows exponentially. But even then, if they're not putting that investment in now and they're not having that business to continue to push the bar, because inflation's a real thing, prices just go up, that's just what it is, then maybe at this point, not saying that they're not a good client, but they're not a good client for me. They might be a good client for the person that's, hey, I want to leave my job. I just need like 2 more clients at $500 a month and I can really make this happen. Great, here's one of those. That's something that I try to do with my network of people. If you guys connect with me online, if you're in the Twin Cities area, I always try to hand off jobs to my subcontractors, my team, as well as other people who I respect and I see in the industry that are doing things that would fit what this person needs. So be a market fit for something. But yeah, so that's, pricing can be really difficult. identifying who your target client is can be difficult. Saying no to money can be difficult, but not all money is good money. Not all clients are good clients for you where you're at right now. They might be good for you now, but they're not good for you later. They might be good for you later, but they're not good for you now. I have biffed a $30,000 proposal for a professional sports team because it wasn't a good fit for me at the time. I could say it's probably still not a good fit for me. Maybe give me a year and a half, 2 years to really pull what I learned from that engagement and implement it, practice, and get those reps in, build up those muscles, build up the skill, build up the team, build up the rapport to actually be able to handle that. Great, yeah, that $30,000 job, no problem. We're gonna be on to $50,000, $100,000 whole campaigns at that point, multi-million-dollar campaigns. That's just what I'm projecting. So it sucked at the time to lose out a bid for $30,000 when our top job was maybe a couple thousand at that point. So it was like, whoa. But everything has its time. Everything has preparation. That's what luck is. So at the end of the day, treat your clients well, build with them. If you can't get something done for somebody, refer them to somebody. Keep the gears turning. And I actually got a referral from a friend earlier, so I'm gonna go hop on that call, check in and see if the studio, hopefully there's no leak, but I think this was a good pricing combo. I'm gonna probably just put it out like this. If y'all like the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow on all the platforms, do the thing. Let me know if you wanna see more stuff like this, if this was helpful. Feel free to reach out to me directly. I'll probably cut off access in the future, but feel free to reach out to me directly so I can answer questions, leave things in the comments so I can actually do video replies, make videos about it. That helps me out. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I hope this helps you with your pricing as a freelancer, entrepreneur, and take the leap, but be careful. Be serious about it. Take yourself seriously, and do it correctly. Trust me, you lose a lot of money if you don't do it right the first time. So do it correctly. You got this. Reach out if you need anything. Peace.